What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna be going over the PSAT October 15th, 2016 administration, and I'll basically be finishing up from a previous stream where I streamed just the first passage. In fact, I'm getting a little better at this YouTube thing. You can click on this link that pops up around here. All right, if you want to get to that first stream first. Now, going back to this page, I've already solved the first passage. It actually took me a shockingly long 14 minutes to get 8 out of 9. And I kind of forgot why it was so hard for me. I forgot what kind of did me over because it's been a couple days and I've been doing a bunch of other things in between. So you know what? I'm gonna forget that. I'm gonna put that in my past. But now I have a budget of how many minutes? I have a budget of 46 minutes. 46 minutes to get through 4 passages. That's not the easiest budget, honestly. So we'll see what happens there. 46 minutes. Rough stuff, you know? But it is what it is, and you guys will get to see me struggle, basically, and see how I deal with pressure. What are some of the ways that I keep myself focused, even though I'm feeling the time pressure? Just to give a heads up on how I intend to manage that, I will basically attempt to not really think about it, just to read the passage slowly, and then to get through the questions quickly, and you'll see what that actually looks like in practice in just a few moments. Before I get into the usual strategy recap and all that other stuff, though, I really want to ask a couple questions to you, my viewers, to you. I noticed that people who are finding my PSAT videos, according to YouTube analytics, you guys are maybe a little different from the guys that are finding my SAT videos. Maybe you guys are a little younger. I had actually had this presumption that everyone who was watching my PSAT videos were actually just studying for the SAT, but they were just using the PSAT as additional practice material because they ran out. If you're watching this, whether you're watching this as a live stream, or, which is all 0 of you today, or as a replay, can you let me know in the comments below, are you studying for the PSAT specifically, or are you studying for the SATs? Okay, it actually clarifies a lot for me if I know who you guys are. So please let me know in the comments, SAT or PSAT. That's all I want to know. And you don't have to give me any more personal biographical information than that. So just shooting that out there for all you kids. And I guess that leads us to the strategy recap. So here's the strategy recap. Guys, the big difference in the way that I approach the test versus a lot of the people who are offering their tips and tricks online is that I take my sweet time on the reading. Princeton Review, you go to their website, they're going to say, oh, you're going to waste all your time reading. If you go to all the mainstream sources, they tell you to basically not read. But this is a good reading test. The SAT, the College Board has designed a good reading test. You kind of have to read. If you want to get an 800, if you want to get above a 650 at least on the EBRW, you need to read. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. I take my sweet time on the reading. Well, that might slow me down, but what happens then as a result is that because I take my sweet time reading, when I go through the question stems, I know almost immediately what the answer is supposed to be, okay? In the perfect world, I will read the question stem once. I will already have a pretty good prediction of what the answer is supposed to be, and then I will find it right away. I will match it right away. I will not even do process elimination. I will just circle it, and I will move on. And I will do this without even looking back at the passage. For this, I have a name. I call it the no-look answer. Out of 9 questions or 10 questions per passage, I try to get at least 2 no-look answers. So let's see if I can do that with the remaining 4 passages, because the more no-look answers I can have, the more time I save. So that's basically how I approach the SAT. Actually, that's perfectly awkward timing for the building manager's coming into the apartment. So I'm gonna quickly take a break and open the door. Okay, I'll be right back in just a minute. That was kind of a weird phrase. I had to spitball that, but okay, I'm back. So now I'm going to get into some tips for how to view this video. If you've not seen my streams before, some couple quick tips. I strongly recommend watching this with captions on. So if you look around here, you can press the CC button for closed captions, which will help you kind of like read what I'm saying. Obviously, there will be some mistakes and typos in the process, but you can see a transcript, or you can see read and hear the things that I'm saying. The other tip that I have is if you go ahead and watch this at 2x speed, the the stream will be a little less boring to watch. Finally, you can use, if you use a Mac computer, Alt or Option left and right arrow to navigate between chapters. And if you use Windows, I'm actually not 100% sure. Let me check. Windows, YouTube shortcuts. I don't know what it is on Windows, but I'm assuming it's something like Option or Alt or Control or whatever, left and right arrows, and then you can skip between the chapters. Okay, so those are my tips for watching this video, and now I'm going to get into the test. Here we go. All right, let's get started. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little tired today, but no excuses. I gotta finish this. I have so much on my plate, so let's get through this. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Money and Cooperation. That's a little counterintuitive by JB. Okay, by JB. Now, fungibility, which means the quality being exchangeable. You know, if you know about NFTs, you should kind of know about this. Unlike traditional barter systems, bartering is different. Traded for anything. See, that's fungible, right? Exchanging goods, say a cow for your supplied bread, for which a fair swap would otherwise be too complex to figure out. But beyond this basic utility, money could have other benefits. Okay, the basic utility being the fungibility. One theory holds, okay, cool, that it makes cooperation possible in large groups of strangers where trust is in short supply. It increases trust, apparently. If you give your cow to a stranger in exchange for money, you don't have to trust that person to keep your bread supply coming all year. You can use the money to buy bread from anyone. May have been crucial for human urbanization. Okay. Ooh, experimentally we're testing this. Led by GC, we had GB earlier, I think. Brought 200 people into a room full of computers and asked them to play 2 different games. Points called units. Everyone started out with 8 of these units. They were divided into groups of 2, 4, 8, or 32 people. So large groups and random pairs. And but they didn't know which was their current partner. Huh. Okay, interesting. So in the first game, there's the first game. One of the players in the pair had the option of spending 6 units to help out the other to get 12 units. Expensive, but if somebody returned the favor in a future round, would double the investment. In each round made random pairs, I see. So this is like a trust game, okay. And everyone converted into real cash that participant took home. That makes this fun. Okay. Now this took me 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's a little hard to understand, but I am getting it. There's multiple rounds and you're randomly paired every time. As Camera and his colleagues expected, trust broke down as the group size increased. Is that intuitive? I guess, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. If it's only 6, it's a lot. Right? If it's only, what's the smallest group? 2, 4, and yeah, obviously. If it's only 4 or 8 or, yeah. When just 2 people play the game, 71%. The same person. 32 led to below 55%, below 5%, which we're interpreting as a breakdown of trust. When we're talking about cooperation, this is a different idea, but I don't fully understand. Okay, second experiment. Tokens. Additional option to buy help. No intrinsic value. Voluntary. In the 2-person groups, eroded trust. Cooperation dropped by 19%. The opposite effect. Maybe twice as often. What the hell does cooperation mean? What does cooperation mean? It's never defined. Interesting. This bit of construction in the background is a little annoying, but I can't avoid it right now. I'm in a foreign country. There's no way of dealing with this. Just random, just impossible to schedule things. Interesting how it stays put. That is really interesting. 540. Main purpose to talk about 2 experiments. Oh, pause. I just realized I didn't do my map of the passage. Here's my map of the passage. Okay. This is basically me regurgitating everything I remember so that you guys, my viewers, can tell how well I read. I will give myself a score at the end of this. Map of the passage. There's 2 columns, and the second column ends kind of in the middle, so it's like 1.5 columns-ish, and then there's a graph on the next page. First column, top. We talk about like the history of bartering versus money, how money is fungible and bartering isn't, and money, because it's fungible, has this basic utility of being able to like exchange things without having to trust the other person or something like that. I don't know, something like that. Okay, I don't fully remember the first paragraph, something like that. Second paragraph says, well, maybe it has something beyond this basic utility. One theory holds that it actually helps to increase trust, which now kind of collides with the thing I said just a bit ago. So there's something I need to differentiate that somehow, but whatever. And increase trust in a society where, in larger societies, and blah, 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 and makes urbanization possible. That's the end of that particular paragraph. Now we're in the middle of the left column. And I think the third paragraph says there were some guys, BG or something, GC, I forgot the name. There were some researchers somewhere that wanted to test this experimentally, and they did 2 experiments. Still in the middle of the left column, we start describing the first experiment, which is that they got, and now we're getting towards the bottom of the first column, but basically they got like several hundred, maybe 200 college students and recruited them for these games. Now, in these games, there's a random number of rounds that the computer will just like end the game at any given point after a certain number of rounds. And at each round, the pool of players, which can range between 2 to 32, will be paired up. Okay, will be paired up, and paired randomly with somebody else. Okay, every individual in this pool of players will be paired randomly with somebody else. And the first person in this pair always has the option of donating, basically gifting $6 to the other person, okay, to turn their $6 into $12, something like that. And then if the other person on their turn decides to pay it forward, they decide to donate another $6, okay, back to the original person or back to some other person that they got paired up with. You know, they got everyone can have like this win-win scenario. But this requires a lot of trust. So what do we learn? Well, starting at the very bottom of the left column and moving over to the second column, top of the second column, we learn that like in very low, in very small pools like 2, trust was very, very high. So people cooperated a lot, and there was some crazy number of people who like donated. Okay. Because it's kind of obvious that you're going to get it right back. It's also very personal, right? So that's intuitive. But in larger groups, it drops off. In the 32 people pool, the number of people who like donated dropped to like less than 5%. Okay, because there's no guarantee that they're going to get it back. That makes sense. But then they did a second experiment. This starts at the middle top of the right column, and in this second experiment, they run it the exact same way, except now there's an additional optional action that these pairs can take. They can actually choose to buy, the second person, I guess, can choose to buy $6 off the other person. And they are not calling it units anymore. They're calling it like something like tokens. Okay, they can buy the tokens off of these other people. And apparently, just by making that change, the larger groups it became a lot more cooperative, twice as cooperative as in the first group, as in the first experiment. Very interesting stuff. That basically ends the passage. That was my map of the passage, and and then there's a graph that shows the two different experiments. The first experiment is a downward slope where the amount of cooperation just drops. The amount of cooperation drops as the pool size gets larger. And the second line is basically flat. It doesn't really change with the size of the group. That's my map of the passage, and if I can give myself a grade for that, I do feel like I'm missing a couple of details, but I did get all the major ideas, and I know where all the major ideas are on the page. I know what's on the top left, I know what's on the bottom left, etc. So I would give myself a grade of A- for that one. Okay, I'm just lacking some details. All right, so that's my map of the passage. I'm going to go into the actual questions themselves now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Main purpose of the passage. Oh yeah, 2 experiments. How trust, money leads to trust. Fall apart. Managed money systems, beneficial, urbanized. There we go. Now which people? Okay, I had to actually do some process elimination for that one, but that was a no-look answer. With which statement would the author most likely agree? I have to remember broadly. Monitoring systems are especially useful in large groups of people. That's correct. So I don't even have to double check B, C, or D. It's just so obviously aligned. Line 11 holds. One theory, contends, argues, claims. There we go. That's 650. And what's the main idea? Second paragraph, 10 through 19. I'm assuming this is about it's introducing this theory of social cohesion, barter. It doesn't mention the theory at all. That's kind of awkward. Okay, bartering is off topic. That was kind of awkward because it didn't even mention the theory, but sure. It just is the theory. Why did trust break down in the first experiment? Because it was too large. 7:45. Okay. Wow, that's loud. 문 좀. Okay, it broke down because it was larger. Uh, 47 through 50. Specifically 50. Ooh, we don't have 40. That's awkward. This word why. 42, 43 is the answer, but that is so awkward. That is really awkward. That's poorly, because it says why, That it says why. It doesn't say, dude, that's not a why. It's just a correlation. Anyway, use the term breakdown and fell, line 50, 52. So yeah, in order to emphasize the negative effect, emphasize the negative outcomes of unit system of the unit system in the large groups. Sure, that sounds right. Hesitation. Okay, that's no look answer. I did have to do some process elimination. Rely more on money than on personal relation and trustworthiness. What? Then on do we have a comparison? I think that's close to the end, right? Reputation or okay, so that must be 72, 74. Personal relationship, that's kinship and trustworthiness. But that doesn't show up. Okay, I have to do process elimination. 3, 11. I'm going to start at 58 and 63. 58 and 63. 63 doesn't help. 58 doesn't help. They rely more on 3 and 11. 3 to 6 and 11. Okay. Where trust is in short supply. What the heck? People rely more on money. 11. $58 through 60. What the and 63 to 65. I guess D? What the heck? I'm so confused by this one question, and I already spent a minute and 40 seconds on it. I'm going to move on. Oh, it's such a frustrating question. Holy crap. The main purpose of the information in the graph is to show how the two experiments cooperated. How often? No. Cash? No. Times? I guess, how, is it often? It is often. It is often. Okay, I misremembered. I didn't realize it was frequency. A decrease in cooperation happened during the second experiment when it went from 4 to 8. Ugh. So annoying. Okay. Feynman, cool. 1959. Oh my God, what's going on with my pen? Emily Sohn, cool. Adam Holler, 2005. Manipulate things on a very small scale. We're talking about quantum. We're talking about atoms, okay? There are a number of interesting problems that arise. All things do not simply scale down in proportion. There's the problem that materials stick together by the molecular attractions, okay? It'll be like this. After you made a part and you unscrew the nut from the wall, it isn't going to fall down. I think I've read this at some point in my life, but I don't remember where. The final question as to whether arranging the atoms all the way down. Within reason, you can't. Okay. Up to now, we have been content to dig in the ground to find minerals. We heat them. We hope to get a pure substance, but we must always accept what nature gives us. Okay. What can we do with layered structures, with just the right layers? What were the properties? Very interesting to investigate theoretically. I can't see exactly what would happen. I can hardly doubt that when we have to control an enormous greater range of possible properties, the different things we can do. Okay, 1405. Okay, but that also leads to like the nuclear bomb. right? I think. This was in 1959. This is afterwards. Atoms are everywhere. One at a time, however, they use these microscopes. They can move individual atoms around. Okay, that's literally the same idea. One step further. Atoms in bunches. Move. Operate time. Huh. So it's actually better to do bunches, apparently. An extremely sharp needle that rides over the surface beam and can nudge a single atom, but maneuvering more than one atom is difficult. Interesting. It's actually the next step after single atoms. Created a new, to make the task easier, a new technology. We have a new six-legged molecule, HBP, like a hexagon, rings of carbon atoms. Six tripod-like feet support the structure, and it can slide over a copper surface, sucking up loose. It's like a vacuum cleaner. That's interesting. Sucking up loose copper atoms. Some limitations: low temperatures, practically airless. Wow, super technical, crazy technical. That's really cool, actually. Pause. And we have two columns there. Here's my map of the passage. Since I'm slouching so much, I might as well aim my camera down. There we go. Okay, here's my map of the passage. Whew. Map of the passage. Left column, Feynman. Back in 1959. Basically, the whole passage is, imagine what we could do if we could move around little things at the microscopic scale. The first paragraph is top left. First paragraph is things get really, really tricky at the microscopic atomic level. You know, there are these van der Waal forces that you have to deal with, and things don't behave as they normally would. Then, the second paragraph says, it would be amazing though if we could like move atoms one by one and place them exactly in the locations we want. Then that's like the middle already, and then like the middle left, the middle bottom, right, middle bottom-ish, it starts talking about, well, how we would do this, I don't really know, and he makes some sort of like qualification, and I don't fully remember the qualification. But then he swings back in the bottom left, fourth and final paragraph, but if we could do this, it would be super amazing. Like, think of all the properties that we could unlock. Something like that. Like, the possibilities are endless. That's sort of the idea. Okay? Now, in the second column, which we get a new passage from much more recently, and it says, I don't remember the paragraphs in sequence anymore, but basically it says, now we can kind of move atoms around one by one using this very, very tiny needle. And the problem is that it's very hard to move more than one atom at a time. But if we could, then we could make like little nano machines. I don't remember the exact sequence of the paragraphs, so I don't remember how those ideas come out, in what order those ideas come out, but basically it says all that in some sequence. and says that there's now this new innovation. This is around the middle of the right column where we have like this little vacuum cleaner guy, hexagonal kind of HPD or something like that. This guy who has 6 tripod legs and can like suck up copper atoms, more than one at a time. And then if you use the needle or something together, you can push this little HPHP vacuum cleaner or whatever and move and arrange, multiple copper atoms simultaneously. And that's the whole middle of the right column and almost like the bottom even of the right column. And at the very end, it just says now, the potential is really there to like make wire and do a bunch of other things with this kind of technology. But there was a limitations paragraph right before that where it did mention that you need to have like almost airless, very, very low temperature conditions for this. Okay, and that's my map of the passage. It was a little, I was kind of like flip-flopping a little, but I got the main ideas. I'm a little iffy on some of the sequence and some of the details, but the main pieces are all there. I'm not super confident on where every detail is. I'd have to sort of scan it and skim it to remember exactly where things came out. So I would give myself a B or B plus, maybe a B plus for that map of the passage. Okay. Nevertheless, I still feel pretty confident. I feel like I can get a couple no-look answers just with this map. So we'll see what happens. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Wait, why is my timer not working? What's going on? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Yeah. According to the author of passage 1, there's a difficulty with very small scale. The strengths of attractions. Yep. That must be the van der Waal attractions. Yep. That's 1640. Which choice best supports the claim that made in passage 1 that some arrangements will be impossible? The chemistry one, like you have to follow basic chemically stable, 1920. So I got that right away. That was 1655. Over here, line 12, nature. Nature has to be this nature. 7 problems of this kind of this type. Okay, 1715. Building nanoscale machines will first require moving multiple, creating molecular tools, moving multiple things, right? Tools. I'm pretty confident with that one. I can just move on, I think, because I think the other ones are sort of wrong. But okay. Oh, best answer. Taking the technology one step forward. Okay, 52, 53 seems very useful. Oh, but we don't get 52, 53. That's annoying. Bunches. Okay, 50, 52 kind of helpful. 54, 56 is the key part. We're talking about a need. We need this for building nanoscale machines. 54, 56, and 60, 61. What? This seems a little overly... I feel a little iffy on that, okay? Just gonna move on because I don't have a lot of time. I spent 14 minutes on the first passage, so I'm just gonna keep moving. So annoying. The main purpose of the discussion of the size of atoms in the first paragraph, passage 2. You can't see them. It's all over the place. Is it underlying challenges? That seems a little weird. That seems honestly a little strange to me. Because that doesn't seem like, I mean, kind of iffy. Kind of. I guess arguably, 78 regularly, most nearly means into, evenly spaced, like, yeah, evenly. 2005. Moving atoms. Okay, 2020. That was a no-look answer. They're talking about potential substances. Uh, hmm. Substances? Do we have substances here? Intellectual is kind of a little awkward too. I find this to be also awkward. Like, intellectual is pretty clear in the first one, but like, I guess we don't have substances. When you have bad answer choices, like, you're kind of forced to do process elimination and just choose the least worst. It's not good. Man, I'm like annoyed, honestly, by the questions of so far. I feel like the evidence questions from 2016 were written in a sort of logically sloppy way, or maybe like just sort of overly fraught way. It's not intuitive the way they're doing it. At least not to me. So either I became dumber, or they're writing things like poorly. So all I can say is I'm just a little triggered right now. I want to take a break. I'm like annoyed by these passages right now. How many more passages do I have? I have two more passages left. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I wonder how bad the background noise is for you guys. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that, like, that, what do you call it? Not drilling, but basically drilling sound in the background? Ugh. I'm pretty sure you can at least hear a little bit of it. This question is, sorry, not this question. This test is kind of pissing me off. So I really need this break right now. Uh, it's just, it's just so frustrating. Like, I feel like I'm being forced into process elimination because of bad correct answers, right? Like, if the correct answer is written in a sort of unassailably correct way, then you don't need to do process elimination. And I feel like the SAT was pretty good. I feel like the College Board was pretty good at doing that. But right now, it's like a mess, dude. And I'm pretty sure it's just because it's a PSAT from like a longer from. It's an older PSAT, and that's the real reason why it's so messy. Anyway. Just trying to keep my blood pressure down. I need to drink some water, but it's not in my room right now. So, okay, I guess I should start soon. So annoying. But alas, I have much to get done, so can't dally. Let's get back to it, guys. All right. Passage 4, history passage. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. LBJ, 64. Graduation commencement address. Cool. So this is going to be inspirational. But 64, that's a crazy time. It's a crazy time in American history. Okay, the happiness is the test of our success. For a century, we lived with setter and subdue a continent. For half a century, we called upon unbounded invention, an order of plenty. So we're talking about the economy. So we're talking about the 1800s for settling and subduing. For the 19th century, sorry, the 20th century. Okay, that's okay. Cool. I understand those. I probably spent too much time on this. The next half century, so up until 2000, to enrich and elevate our national life. Okay, which makes sense, right? This is, JFK, LBJ, the Great Society. Was it called Great Society? I forgot. My American history is getting kind of rusty. Great Society is correct. Okay. Abundance, liberty for all, end to poverty and racial injustice. Okay. Great society is a place where every child can find knowledge, education, leisure. Although this definitely did not happen, line 30 and 31, in modern America. City of man serves not the needs of the body and the man's conscience, but the desire for beauty and hunger for community, for greater things. Renewed contact with his nature. So, this whole thing is a definition. Okay. It's kind of interesting. It's a good speech. For what honor? Okay, sure. Okay, cool. Oh, interesting transition. Not a safe harbor, a resting place, a final objective. Constantly renewed. It's endless. Will you join? Will you join? Will you join? Okay, this is gonna get a little. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Will you join? This is very AP Langy. So, okay, counterclaim. This battle apparently cannot be won. We address it. We need your will, your labor, your hearts. A new world. Okay, 25 minutes, 5 seconds. Stop. That took me how long to read? Took me 4 minutes-ish to read. That was pretty fast, actually. Anyway, 2 columns, and the second column ends kind of in the middle of the page. I don't think I'm going to have the best map of the passage, but here we go. Map of the passage, LBJ, 1964, top left. Turmoil of the capital. I come from the turmoil of the capital to speak to you kids about this vision for better America, okay? And he says that he needs them, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the sequence of this anymore. And then somewhere in that top left, he does this sort of historical callback of what the 1800s were all about, which was about settlement, about what the first half of the 1900s was all about, which is about industry, about creating plenty. Now, what is the challenge of the second half of the 20th century? It's to create a sort of more, it's a place where the abundance can be shared with everybody, no matter their race. So that is the top left. In the middle left, we get a bunch of ideas of he introduces the idea of the Great Society. And the bottom left, it's just this long, ongoing definition of the Great Society. Very idealistic. It's all about prosperity for everyone, racial equality, and not just being about quantity of goods, but the quality of the labor, having leisure, having education, all that stuff. The sort of standard progressive platform, ever since ever since FDR and Great Society, and even to this day, the progressive platform where we're taking care of society and everyone can get their equal shot, something like that. So that's the bottom left, and in the top right, we say this thing about how Great Society is not something that is like a once and done kind of thing. It doesn't just end, it's something that you really need to strive for constantly. You need to battle for it. So then, starting in the top left and moving kind of towards the middle of the top left, top middle, right? LBJ says, we need you to join the battle. Join the battle. Will you join the battle? Will you join the battle? Will you join the battle for all this good stuff? And then there's this last counterclaim bit where, there's a timid soul that will say that this kind of society is not possible, but I disagree. Please join the battle. Something like that, and that's LBJ's speech. By the end of the speech, I was less impressed by it, but that was his speech, and that is my map of the passage. I thought that was a decent map of the passage. I would say, some of the sequencing and the details and the rhetoric, I lost track of what was what. I lost track of his actual wording, but I got all the major parts, and I kind of know where to find most of the ideas. So I'll give myself a B+ for that map of the passage. I feel pretty confident I got his main ideas. So I'm pretty happy to get into the questions and figure out and hopefully show you guys a couple no-look answers. All right, here we go. 3, 2, wait, let me pull out my pencil. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Labored, strove. We strove, we endeavored. Okay, that's 2520. For a century. So this is just, talking about the history. Reference the past, possibilities for the future, past and future. I think 815 goes all the way to the future. Okay, yeah. Past and future. Yeah. Yep. Possibilities for the future, sure. And strong opposition to the goals. Strong opposition to the goals. I only remember the battle bit and. I guess 60 to 62. But where's the strong opposition? 60-62 is not strong opposition, man. What the heck? What? Strong 63. Huh. Where's the strong opposition? 71-73. I need to do process elimination. Okay, not this, not this. 12 to 15. That's probably not that. What? Okay, that wasted time. I feel like I'm wasting time because the questions are worded weird. Like, that's not strong opposition. Am I misreading something here, guys? Am I going crazy? Anti values. Okay, values, old, principles. Sure, yeah, things that we believe in is what I was trying to say. Okay. People that had a responsibility, not productive, less materialistic, maybe more respectable, less materialistic. I guess that's less materialistic, 40, 39, 40. Oh my God, that's not even the freaking evidence. More productive maybe, but is that really? Wait, what's the phrasing here? He says people of the United States believed. People of the United States. Why is it past tense? Oh, I guess it is supposed to be past tense. 30 to okay, 30. I feel like that's materialistic is correct. Let's just go process elimination because I'm struggling. 2023. Okay, cool. 2023 isn't right. 3032 it might work. Let me see because it's the right area. Not if. No, that doesn't do. That's more. Be more chill. 56, 59. What's that? Oh my God, this is so painful. Our material is only the foundation on which we'll build a richer life of mind and spirit. Ugh, that's like such a bad. Oh my God. I guess that's the correct answer, but it's such a bad answer. Holy shit. Oh my God, that's such a bad answer. I'm so annoyed. Okay. Repeats the word will you join several times near the end of the speech, most likely to, convince to take action. Sure. Studies. Immediately. Necessity, no. Take action. Will you join? Okay, I guess 2950. What objection? It's not feasible. What? That people want change? People do not believe it's possible? That's kind of awkward. People. What if the main? What? That's so. It's like in the third person. That makes it very strange. Want? Where's also the want? Oh my god. I no longer trust this question at all. Oh my god. Worthy goal? Maybe the worthy goal. Is it worthy goal? I don't know, man. That seems awkward as well. I feel like, I mean, sometimes I get into like this sort of tunnel vision where I get very negative about a test and I keep thinking that the test is the one that's wrong, not me. But so I'm trying to be humble here, but I'm struggling, dude. Claims the vision of the people who founded the United States included a new world. Yeah, a new world. 3140. That was a no look answer at least. uh, God, that was that's this PSAT continues to frustrate me to no end. When brain cells shrink and near trash is flushed away. I see. Brain cells shrink and we flush away trash. Interesting. So that took me a while, right? It took me quite a while to read and think and process what that means. Okay, it took me a while to transition. Almost on par? Yeah. Feel terrible, cognitive abilities, seizures, death. Why do we do it? Plumbing system, drains waste, take out the garbage. On a discovery by the same team. So this is background right now. Waste is removed by alongside blood vessels, like the lymphatic system, but made of brain cells called glia. Invisible. By the way, these are mouse brains. Okay. So this is a possible, it's a possible benefit of this kind of research. So now we're back to the current research, the new research. Okay, they use fluorescence to see the fluid moving through in real time, waking them up. Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. Dramatic effect on how much fluid. Unconsciousness had a dramatic 60% increase in the volume. Brain cells actually shrink to allow more passage. When woke the mice up, the fluid abruptly slowed. Back to Alzheimer's. It left twice as fast when you're sleeping. Wow, that's super awesome. That's actually really awesome. So, not yet well studied. Okay, yeah, we're talking about the current research environment around this thing. The fresh new feeling. That's super cool. Okay. Oh, actually, I have some graphs to read here. Rate at which the Alzheimer's thing is taken away, and this is the remaining. So we're looking at the slope really. You know, awake versus asleep or anesthetized, they're basically the same really, and versus awake. And yeah, I guess there's a pretty big drop in the first 60 minutes mainly. Okay, so that's 35-40. And then over here, the tracer is flushed. So this is just that fluorescent thing. And again, this is pretty similar, asleep and anesthetized. And you know, the amount that's remaining, you know, it's pretty slow. This is pretty slow. Okay, the slope is pretty slow. Whereas this is fast. Okay, 3610. Now I'm gonna go into my map of the passage. There are two columns. The second column is pretty short, so it's actually like 1.3 columns. It's a really short passage actually, and then there's two infographics. There's two graphs afterwards. All right, first column, top. We sleep, and we really, really, really need sleep. It's as important as food and water. And we don't know why. That's like the first two paragraphs, I think. And that's the top left, okay? Now we're kind of going to the middle top, okay, of the first column. And it says, well, there's this theory that maybe it could be, theory is probably not the word they used, but I don't remember the word right now. But maybe it could be used as a waste disposal system. There was previous research by this team that showed that, now we're kind of in the middle of the left column, like maybe fourth paragraph, something like that. There was previous research that showed that there's like a sort of, it's like a lymphatic system. Is lymphatic the right word? But instead of being made up of whatever the hell the lymphatic system is made up of, it's made up of these brain cells, and they run alongside blood vessels, and they were invisible. Okay, and what they do is they're just flushing out waste matter related to, I guess, brain activity or something. I don't fully understand, honestly, all the biology here. And so now we're getting down to the bottom of the left column, the first column, but this new research, they designed it so they could track how sleep affects the passage of the fluid, the washing through, the cleaning fluid, so to speak, through this sort of brain washing is not the right word, but the sort of like the system. Did they even have a name for the system? But I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, they want to track how sleep affected it. So in these mice, they put these fluorescent markers, okay, into their system, and they watch the passage, the flow of the flushing, and they found that there was like a 60% increase or something like that in how quickly it flowed. Something like that, because the brain cells actually got smaller to allow a lot more fluid through when the mouses were asleep. They could even like touch the mouse, like waking it up to see what happens. And it turns out if you wake them up, it abruptly, now we're at the top right, it would abruptly stop the flow. It would restrict the flow of the fluid. So that's and then at the very end, I guess there's like a conclusion paragraph. I don't fully remember what it says in that conclusion paragraph. Okay, so that's my map of the passage. And then there's two graphs. The first graph is the Alzheimer's. I forgot all the mention of the Alzheimer's. But basically, the Alzheimer's fluid, right, does there's like this Alzheimer's particle, okay, that like accrue, that's particularly associated with Alzheimer's. They actually showed a steep drop for incapacitated or anesthetized or asleep like mice. And if they're awake, it actually still drops off pretty quickly, but it was not as fast. And then for just the regular tracer fluid, much higher up, but yeah, the awake mice had a much flatter slope than the asleep mice. Okay, so that's my map of the passage as well as the infographics, and I would give myself a grade of a B or B minus. Okay, honestly, I got all the main parts really. I'll give myself a B for that map of the passage, just because I kind of bungled some details and I'm kind of like fuzzy on like the conclusion and stuff like that. So, but I got the main parts and I kind of know where to look for if there's a question that asks me something and I don't know where to look, I'd be a little surprised. Okay, so that's my grade for my map of the passage. It's a B. All right, final passage. Let's go through these questions and finish this off. I'm pretty good on time too, by the way, so I'm not too stressed. Main conclusion drawn from the experiments discussed in the passage. That like we need sleep. I don't know about primary reason, but diseases result, no, not just through channels. We're talking about we need sleep. From the brains of mice. Okay, I'm gonna look for primary because D focuses too much on the mice. My God, this is overly confident. This is too specific. Oh my God. But A is too confident. That's so annoying. Line 1, absolute, is a very, very, very important, is a fundamental requirement. 37, 35. Inference about, man, I'm kind of triggered by all these questions. The evidence, it came from not multiple studies on unrelated species. It came from multiple studies on the same species. It supports mutually exclusive hypotheses. No, because of technological advancements, that's correct. 38. That was a no-look answer. Because they had this invisible stuff, but now it's no longer invisible. From the passage of the detection of the network of channels that the brain raised the possibility that sleep might be related to it. Restore the glia? You can't restore the glia, I think, right? I'm kind of confused by this. Lymphatic? When you talk about sleep? Okay. Hang on, let me just make sure I understand the wording here. The detection raised this possibility. The detection raised this possibility. Okay? They detected this, suggests that this possibility might be linked to problems with drainage. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, that's 25 and on. Yeah, no, that's correct. That's exactly correct. Even though it doesn't say something directly about sleep, that's exactly what the passage says. 39, 30. That one's actually decent. Okay, that one works. 32, observation. There were no problems with that question, with the previous paired question. With the observation that the... with the, the fact, with the finding, 3950. Okay. Change undergoes when it wakes up. The close completely is too much, but rapid increase, the brain cells expand. Maybe reverse, the flow reverses. No, I don't remember about the brain cell size, but yeah, abruptly slowed. It's apparently because, but okay, sure. I mean, you can infer it. That's, I guess, doable. So that's 40-40. Oh my God, why is my 40-40? And that's over here. Oh my God, the 43 to 50, 45. And then 48. If you include 48, that's better because then you could include the other part. Yeah. So you're supposed to combine those two sentences into an inference. This should say infer. It should say infer, but it doesn't, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, 4105. Awake. They flushed a smaller total. No, we don't know about total. They had after 240. I think this is correct. 240 because it did it did converge. It's correct. So 41, 30, and over here, most strongly suggests which event occurred immediately following the injection of the beta amyloid. After the injection? They all started flushing. All flushed some. Yeah. Not the same portion though. Okay. 42 and 10 minutes. Pause. Now I need to do a quick calculation to see how much time I even have left, because I did the first passage separately. 42 and 15 seconds plus 14 and 10 seconds gives us 56 and 25 seconds. So I actually have 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. That's probably good enough to do a quick review of like the 2 or 3 questions I circled. So 3 minutes and 35 seconds, which means my stop point should be 45 minutes and 50. 45 minutes and 50 is when I should stop. Okay, so I have 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. I'm going to use my extra time, switching my pen to a green color, to show that I'm actually going back. Okay, I'm going back, and this is actually my second pass. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Which choice best supports the idea people rely more on money than on personal relations and trustworthiness? I'm going to look at 63-65 first. They rely on money instead of helping through gift giving. That kind of works. 3-6 is probably not correct, but okay, that's maybe a Y, but that's incorrect. 11-13. Okay, it just holds that cooperation is possible, but it doesn't really, okay. It's corroborating, but it doesn't really directly support that, prove it. This is just about tokens, so I had to choose this through process elimination, honestly. So that's 4305. Okay, let's keep going. These evidence questions are so sketch. Building nanoscale machines will first require 6061. Let's look at 6061 first. To make the task easier, because moving more than one is related to building a nanoscale machine, so it's multiple jumps, but sure. 6061 kind of works because it says makes the task easier and will require, it needs to become easier. I guess that's the connection. 41, 43. 41, 43, I just got slightly distracted. Has nothing to do with anything. 50, 52. Oh my God. Okay, it has nothing to do with anything. 54, 56. Okay, it's just a very randomly specific thing. So yes, I'm going to continue with this. This is 44:15. Now I have about a minute and 30 seconds left. So oh, I'm done. Never mind. So that was where was that? 44:15 was my ending, was when I ended. 44:15. Okay, for 2 more questions. So I am definitely within the 60 minutes, and I think you might have been able to notice that the way I manage my time is by pretending I didn't need to. Actually, that's not quite accurate. One of the ways that I manage my time is by not doing process elimination more than once on a question. If I spent like more than a minute and 30 seconds on a question, I just chose something and I moved on. And that saves me a lot of time. It's hard to explain. It's hard to really quantify because you can't like prove there's a word for this. I forgot what it was, but you can't prove a thing, you can't prove something that historically, something that didn't happen 1 hour ago. We're sort of just hypothesizing what would have happened. But like, if I had spent like an additional minute on those questions, I would definitely have started panicking on the rest of this test, and it would have led to a lot more mistakes. So that's how I manage my time, despite having such a horrible start with a 14-minute first passage. I just took my sweet time on my passages, but I moved on from my questions more quickly. Okay, now let's see how I actually did. I'm going to score. I'm pulling it up right now on my screen, my computer screen, so I can just kind of get through it right now. This is 2016, October 15th, and I'm on the reading test, so here we go. I did not like these questions, but let's hope for the best. I'm hoping I got 44 out of 47, -3 max. I'm just like not super happy about this test. And I was really like emotionally, I was like annoyed during much of this test. So, that might have led to some arrogance or some errors and, like me being overly doubtful, that would have also affected the test. 10 through 13, I chose B, A, C, D. B, A, C, D are correct. Then I chose B, C, A, D. B, C, A, D are correct. Then I chose D, C. D, C are correct. I got 10 out of 10. Okay, over here, I chose 20. A, B, D, C. A, B, D, C are correct. Then I chose D, D, B. Wait, what? 24? Oh, yeah. D, D, B are correct. Then I chose B, D. And it says in 27, 28, it says B, C. So I think that's 9 questions. That is 9 questions. I got 8 out of 9. Now I'm just struggling. I didn't see substances. Are these substances? Are wires and mounds substances? Is that the right word? If it is, then I'm just wrong, but it's extremely confusing. Like, I literally do not know. That's such a strange thing to test. By the way, obviously, this thing is not, this HBHBP, that is not the substance that we're talking about, okay? We're not trying to motivate your interest in manipulating by talking about the thing that's manipulating. We're talking about the possibility of making other stuff with HBHBP, right? So it's not, HBHBP is, to me, is clearly a substance, but it's also not what the question is asking about. So I guess if wires and mounds are substances, then C is correct. Very confusing here to me personally. Okay, moving on to 29. 29, I chose BABC, and it says, sorry, I chose BDBC, and it says BABC. Moved on from the struggles of the past. What? Are you serious? Struggles we labored to settle? Like, are we being like pedantic about this word here? Struggle? Are we being like extremely broad? We struggled to settle. We labored to struggle. We called upon. That doesn't sound like struggling. We strove to do that. You know, struggling has a negative connotation. Are they going to use some sort of like pedantic, like ancient, like archaic, like sort of obsolete definition of struggle? Like, what is, are they referring to like, are they going to say the word agonize then? You know, like agon, you know, which in the Greek just means to like make an effort, you know, so agonize, like has moved beyond its agonies from the past. Are we being pedantic about this? What the hell is this? What is this talking about? Struggles. Like, okay, I didn't really like D either. Reference to countries past and all those. I mean, I thought it was okay. Okay, we are referencing the country's past, and we're illustrating. We're not really illustrating, I guess. I don't know, man. This is not to illustrate the possibilities. Yeah, it is. Use that well. That's that possibility. Seriously? 29? And so 30 really is supposed to be. BDBC. Oh, no. Oh, am I being dumb? I am being dumb. Okay, my bad. Apparently I misread the answer key. What? Okay, wait. So I chose 29, BDBC. BDBC. Oh, never mind. Thank God. I was going to be so annoyed. BDBC is correct. What did I read? BDBC. I read something else that didn't look like BDBC. Oh my God, I accidentally read literally 29 through 32 is BABC in the writing section. So I just accidentally looked on the wrong section. Okay, my bad. So BDBC 29 to 32. And then I chose 33, DCA, and DCA is correct. And then I chose AD, and AD is 3637, AD is correct. So that's supposed to be 9 out of 9. Man, that was dumb of me, sorry guys. 38, I'm looking at 38. I chose 38 AAD, and here it says DAD. 38 DAD, sure. Sleep assists in the elimination from the brains of mice. That is the main conclusion. The main conclusion drawn from the experiments. Yeah, I guess if I literally specifically say the main conclusion drawn from the experiments, it's from the experiments, I guess in a very really hard ass way, yes, D is correct. I think I probably could have gotten this one right if I wasn't so emotionally triggered by the previous questions on it. If I was just a little more calm and cool, more level-headed about this, then I probably would have been able to go through my usual process, elimination. I might have been able to circle it. I'd come back to it, but I think I had too much emotional baggage at this point. Okay, 39. Oh wait, so yeah, DAD, that's correct. So then I chose 41. BCC is correct. I chose DC is correct. Then I chose BC are correct. So I got 9 out of 10. So I got 2 wrong total, I think. No, 3 wrong total. What's the other one I got wrong? Yeah, I got 3 wrong total. So I got 44. Hey, I kind of called that actually, 44 out of 47. On what I think was actually a pretty terrible test. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And if I said something similar at the very beginning of this stream, but I'm going to say it one more time. If you're here and you're studying for the PSAT, you're not studying for the SAT, you're studying specifically for the PSAT, you're a little bit surprising to me. You're different from what I expected. I assumed you'd be studying the SAT. If you are studying for the PSAT, please leave a comment in the section below. And if you want to find more PSAT streams, just to be frank, I've actually been deprioritizing the PSAT. I just thought that it was just kind of like this thing that some SAT studiers would occasionally use. If you'd like to see more PSAT content, please let me know in the comments, but also look for the PSAT content on my channel. I do have some, okay? It's not a lot, but it is there. Right now, it's all clumped in the same playlist, and you can find the link in the description below, where there's a big playlist of all the past SATs and PSATs that I've streamed. Okay? Happy studies, and until I see you next, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.